Let me tell you about a ghost plane. No, really, it's the story of a World War II bomber that just vanished over the Sahara Desert, only to pop up again 15 years later, almost perfectly preserved. It's a mystery that really blurs that line between what's real and what's, well, something else entirely.
So picture this. It's April 1943. The war is at its peak. A brand new B-24 Liberator bomber, nicknamed the Lady Be Good, takes off for its very first combat mission and then just gone. It disappears right off the face of the earth. No wreckage, no distress calls, not a single survivor. It was just nothing.
Then, 15 years go by, and it's found completely by accident hundreds of miles from where anyone thought to look. And there it is, sitting in the sand, almost completely intact, like a ghost ship of the desert. But the 9 men who were on that plane, they were gone.
So let's start right there, with that unbelievable discovery. This is the moment that turned a forgotten wartime loss into a modern mystery that honestly captivated the entire world.
Okay, so after it disappears in 43, the Lady Good is just another name on a long list of the missing. It stays that way until late 1958 when a British oil survey team is flying over this huge, empty stretch of the Libyan Desert and they spot something, glinting in the sun. It actually took months for a ground team to finally reach the site, but when they did, they confirmed it. It was the Lady Good. But the real search, the one for the crew, that was just getting started. The scene they found was just eerie. The dry desert air had basically turned the plane into a perfect time capsule. I mean, the machine guns could still be fired. The radio just needed a power source to work. They even found a thermos with coffee inside that was still drinkable. Everything was there except the crew. It was literally as if they had just vanished into thin air.
To even begin to understand what happened to these men, we have to go back, way back to that one and only mission on a spring day in 1943.
And these were the guys. Young men from all over America, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania. They were a brand new crew, total rookies, about to fly into combat for the very first time. They had no idea they were about to face an unimaginable test. So the mission was a night raid on the port of Naples in Italy. They took off from their base in Salush, Libya, but ran into this fierce sandstorm that scattered their whole formation. A lot of the other planes just turned back. The Lady Be Good, they pushed on. But eventually, they had to give up too and try to find their way home all alone in the dark.
And this is where it all came down to a single catastrophic mistake. In the darkness, in that bad weather, their navigation equipment basically gave them a backwards reading. So they thought they were flying north over the Mediterranean, back toward their base. But they weren't. They completely overshot the coast. Instead of heading home, they flew for hours deeper and deeper and deeper into the empty heart of the Sahara Desert.
With the fuel gauges hitting empty, the pilot, Lieutenant Hatton, he made the only call he could possibly make. Convinced they were over the sea, he ordered the crew to bail out. One by one, they jumped from their plane into the freezing, pitch-black night, totally expecting to splash down into the water. Instead, they hit sand.
And right here, the mystery of a lost plane becomes one of the most incredible and frankly heartbreaking survival stories ever recorded.
So 8 of the 9 men actually survived the jump. The bombardier, John Rofka, tragically died when his parachute didn't open. The survivors managed to find each other in the dark, but they had almost nothing. I mean, get this, just half a canteen of water to share between 8 guys. Still thinking the coast was just over the horizon, they started walking north. And this is the tragic part, walking directly away from their plane, which crash-landed just 16 miles south of them, holding the water, the food, and the working radio that could have saved their lives.
I want you to just think about this number for a second. 85 miles. That's like walking from Manhattan all the way to New Haven, Connecticut. And they did it in daytime temperatures hitting 130 degrees Fahrenheit, sharing a single capful of water per man per day. It's an almost superhuman feat of endurance.
The only reason we know the details of their torment is because of a diary. It was found in the pocket of the co-pilot, Lieutenant Robert Toner. His entries are short, they're stark, and they are absolutely devastating. Just 2 days in, he writes that they spent the afternoon in hell.
After the main group of 5 just couldn't walk anymore, 3 of the men kept going, desperate to find help. And the remains of one of them, Technical Sergeant Harold Ripslinger, were found the farthest away. He had walked an unbelievable 109 miles from where they bailed out. The sheer willpower is it's staggering.
This entry from April 9th, it really captures the finality of their situation. Hope was gone. After 5 days of walking, the remaining group was just too weak to go on. It's a true testament to their courage that they held on for 8 full days before their ordeal finally came to an end.
The story of their incredible endurance, recorded right there in that diary, made sure that their fate would not be forgotten. The discovery of the plane in 1958 created this huge media sensation, and it captured the imagination of one of television's greatest storytellers.
You see, Rod Serling, the creator of the Twilight Zone, he was a World War II veteran himself. He understood the world these men came from. And this bizarre story of a ghost plane found perfectly preserved in the desert, that was pure Twilight Zone material. He used it as direct inspiration for an episode.
And Serling, being a master, he skillfully transformed this reality into fiction. The real story was a tragedy about endurance. His version, in the episode King 9 Will Not Return, became a psychological thriller. It was about a lone captain's survivor's guilt, complete with a classic twist ending that leaves you questioning reality itself.
But even after the crew's fate was discovered and the story was immortalized on television, the Lady Be Good wasn't finished making headlines. An eerie kind of folklore began to grow around the plane itself. This is where it gets a little weird.
People started talking about a jinx. You see, parts were salvaged from the remarkably well-preserved bomber and they were put onto other aircrafts. And then, strange things started happening. A plane that got the ladies' landing gear had constant problems. Another plane with its radio had to ditch in the sea. A third plane with a salvaged armrest simply vanished. Is it just a coincidence? Yeah, probably. But it sure added another layer of myth to an already unbelievable story.
Today, pieces of the Lady Be Good and the crew's personal effects, including that haunting diary, are all preserved in museums. They stand as a memorial to the 9 men. But one final piece of this mystery remains. The body of Staff Sergeant Vernon L. Moore, one of the 3 men who walked on for help, has never been found. His final resting place is known only to the Sahara.
When you really look at it, the story of the Lady Be Good is this fragile chain of events, a sandstorm, a faulty reading, a single wrong turn that led to an unimaginable ordeal. It's just a profound story about human limits, about the cruelty of chance, and about the unbelievable strength of 9 men who walked into hell together, leaving behind a legacy that continues to haunt us all these decades later.